Hey everybody, we are Rydo. Wait, no, I am Rydo, and we are back to another recording session of Hearthstone. The November season 2015 is over. I reached the level that I attempted to reach, which was rank 12, Shield Bearer. That gets me, because I ranked this, a box. In the box is 5 dust, a gold card, and a new season card back. This eye for an eye gold actually might be kind of useful. Because I made rank 20, I get 5 bonus stars again, which puts me at rank 23. Here we go. And so we need a lot of victories. Good, because I was running kind of low on things to do as far as episodes I need to record. I got another watch and learn. Again, not enough actual friends to spend the time to try and watch and learn somebody else, so I played it myself. I don't really like the fact that I'm basically cheating that quest, but it gets me a new pack, and I think that's more valuable, and I'm limited on time, so I can't spend what is potentially all day waiting for somebody to actually get on and play. So let's see, we have one new card, which is probably the eye for an eye, isn't it? Where'd that card go? Come on. That doesn't make sense. Eye for an eye. Show only golden versions. This game is buggy. This is totally buggy. They just now gave me a golden eye for an eye, and it's not here. This wasn't, I don't think this game was this buggy before. I think that they have screwed this up. I mean, unless it is a situation that eye for an eye now is a soulbound card. Like, nope. It's buggy. This game is just buggy. Here, we'll set this as our new favorite. Why not? I really don't care about these card backs. I think they probably should just phase them out. They're probably wasting artistic effort to make all of these. Just kind of phase them out, let everybody have the ability to get all of these card backs, and then just be done with it. There's been more than enough of them, and they're not that different. As far as like Magic the Gathering, as far as a card game, I'm pretty sure they haven't done very little changes, if they've ever changed their back. I think that's how you know it's an official card, really, is because everything on the front could be different, but the back at least will be the same. So I need 3 games with Rogue, 3 games with Warlock, and 5 games with Hunter and Mage. So I guess we should start playing ranked with the Hunter, and then Hunter and Warlock, I guess, will be what we'll do. So it's a nightmare situation. I've created a problem for myself in 2 different ways. I did not think things through, obviously. I should have gotten the the Complete Saga Star Wars game. Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga is the correct name. I should have gotten that in the Halloween sale or the summer sale. Even in the summer of 2015, it was well known that a new Star Wars movie was coming out. I should totally try to ride that interest and see if I can convince people to like that game and get more views.
Job's done.
And I should have had that recorded and scheduled to be released around the movie months and months ago. And I didn't. I didn't even have the game until the end of autumn sale, which was yesterday for me. So now I'm trying to rush through this game. This game, being a Lego game, is incredibly long. It can be 72 to 100 episodes long. The episodes are rather short because the levels are kind of short. So I'm gonna probably end up doubling up on the release, almost certainly. Which only hurts it more when you get to the fact that that game is just full of music that people claim to own.
This is our time.
And so it's just content ID after content ID after content ID. And looking at the content ID, the way it's phrased, they say it's a copyright claim in YouTube. They need to stop that. It is not. It is not. YouTube does not have the legal authority of copyright. Only the, I believe, Library of Congress or maybe the Patent Office or Patent Office has the authority to arbitrate that. The actual judicial system, the courts, have the authority. So when somebody is claiming they own something as far as content ID, that is not a copyright claim, because copyright needs to be defended in the courts, not in the mind of a corporation, i.e. Google. It needs to be its own thing where they say it's a content ID. I guess to most people that's not a big issue, but to me it kind of is. Because corporations in general are always like this. They love the law when it benefits them. They lie about the law and try to change the laws to benefit them. But the second a law doesn't benefit them, they ignore it completely. So yes, I've made a nightmare here. What potentially is going to end up happening is the entirety of my, let's see, how do I want to do this?
Job's done.
I screwed that up. The entirety of that series may get released under disputed copyright claims, so there will be no monetization for the few, if any, views I ever get for that. So the whole thing is really just going to be a free advertised, a lot of effort to make no profit, no ad revenue. But it might encourage people to look at my other videos. That's what I'm hoping.
Job's done.
Still probably should do it. Still am planning on doing it. The only thing that really is going to mess it up is if I cannot just put my head to the grindstone, my nose to the grindstone. I guess it's nose to the grindstone. Neither one of those really make any sense in 2015. I use that phrase a lot, in 2015. I'm gonna change it to in 2016 pretty soon. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Very few people are going to a grindstone and grinding up metal to make it sharper. That's not something people do, and so putting your nose to it is effectively putting a lot of effort into it. Let's see, can I do... I should have... Man, I screwed up. I should have done this. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna lose here. And that would suck. this card could do 4 damage. Fortunately, it
Well
couldn't.
played. I did.
So that's a good way to start this session. After I get Lego Star Wars done, I am somewhere between Dishonored and Mirror's Edge. There will have to be, if I get Star Wars out, I'm gonna probably reschedule of what has already been scheduled, because there was things in the time slot I want to do Star Wars that I'm gonna have to reschedule, and that means I need to start pushing back those things, and it gets into this weird loop where I need to know exactly how many episodes and what date the Star Wars episodes stop getting released on it before, so I can push back the first day of the other series and get that all done. And so there's a lot of work there that's gonna happen. The way I could avoid that is I could just release a series at its own time. I could release it an hour earlier than any series I've released before this point. Then I don't have to reschedule, but then I also haven't really worked my way into the future with any videos. That is something I could decide to do. It just kind of depends. If I don't have the entire Star Wars game recorded, or anywhere close to that, by the time I am near the start of the next series, then there's nothing can be really done from that. You have to. I would have to release it on its own time. That's not a big issue. It's just kind of, do I want to be further ahead? Yes, I've got now, and I should have done this a year ago. Again, I'm still learning, and there's always new tricks that I'm learning. But I have all the major releases as far as video games and movies for 2016 that I could think of that would relate in any way to a video game. Now, some of that's a problem because that means some of the release dates are nebulous, and potentially all of them are prone to getting pushed. So like Dishonored 2 is just set to quarter 2 2016, so I don't know what exact time that would be. That's a 3-month range of when the game is planned to come out. It may get pushed, like what was it? Deus Ex Mankind Divided got pushed.
Who dares summon me? A paltry
There we go. So if it gets pushed, then I potentially would want to put the whole series. For example, my whole Deus Ex series, which is getting released as of this recording, that would have gotten pushed if at any point I had known that that was in the cards, that you were gonna have a situation that
I can see.
Oh. Wow. These rank 23 people are easy to beat. If only I could always play rank 23 players. So now Deus Ex is getting released. I can't do anything about it. It's too late. It's already started. There would be no reason to put a pause on the series. That was the series, Deus Ex Human Revolution was the series also that went really really long. And I ended up doubling up on the number of episodes, which kind of sucks because now, at this point, if I hadn't doubled up on the episodes, you would have been watching it for 3 months, and it probably would have stopped going just as far as right around when Mankind Divided again is available. Of course, that doesn't really matter. It does not really matter if I go for 3 months. That's just too long. So I don't want any game to be more than about a month and a half for its coverage. I looked at like 2014, and somewhere I had posted, not publicly, but I'd mentioned to my friends that I was playing about 1 game a week.
One shot.
Now it's probably still somewhere around there, but there was a lot of weirdness too as I was reading that post, and how and other things I'd said is there was totally a time, like several months before I started doing the YouTube, where I felt I was just playing video games. I felt like I had spent an entire year where I'd only played video games on my cell phone, and that really brings about 2 issues. One, is my startup here and the amount of games I'm playing here just a response to the fact that I hadn't been playing games for a year?
I hope you like my invention.
Or, and 2, my fear is, am I gonna burn out eventually? And if I do burn out, that's gonna kinda suck. And not be good. It's gonna really hurt the channel if I stopped making videos.
Ready to ride.
Got through the autumn sale. The thing that's really gonna be the issue, it's gonna be the real problem, I think, is a lot of the games I got this one time too, are not particularly even games that are on the schedule or thoughts of things I'm actually going to cover. I'll try to cover as many of them as possible, but I bought the Valve Complete Pack, and of that, I'm not really planning on covering many of those games. So I don't know how to fix things like that. Darn it. I have the Cyan Worlds pack, which is the first 3 Myst games, and then Myst Masterpiece Edition. I imagine of what is probably their 6 games, I imagine I'll only cover 2, and I'm not sure how if 2 is even the right number, because am I gonna really go back and play
We must
Myst,
cleanse the Sunwell.
Myst Masterpiece Edition, which maybe I didn't even get because that's not even listed on Steam anymore. Than the real Myst Masterpiece Edition. I think particularly the difference between Real Myst and Real Myst Masterpiece Edition is not significant enough to really cover it. I just don't feel that anything's changed. There is a significant reason to go from Myst Masterpiece Edition or just Myst itself, and then show the difference between Real Myst. In a lot of ways, Real Myst makes Myst more difficult, because you can choose whatever perspective you want and walk in a 3D environment. Where the original Myst was very much
Shields up.
each scene was a painting, and you would look at it at that perspective, so there's less likelihood of you simply not looking at the elements that you need to manipulate. Do I bring out the Core Hound or this guy?
There is little time.
Let's do
The beasts obey me. Unleash the beast. I hunt alone.
Yep, that looks like that's gonna work well. So I'm planning on doing Mirror's Edge. I don't know if I said that or not. There will be a slight problem with Mirror's Edge as far as just how long we go. How far I should go, but overall it should be a pretty smooth experience as long as I can pull off the jumps and the running effectively enough. If I get stuck, I'll just make myself look more foolish than usual if I do something like that, and that would kind of suck. But I want to get that out before I Edge Catalyst. I'm hoping by the end of next year I won't be playing the games of covering old games and not covering the new ones. Ideally, I'll be covering the new games and have already covered the old games. But that's still a lot of games need to be covered if I was going to do that. Like, I have 2 Assassin's Creed games. I'm going to try and powerhouse through them. I'm thinking not going to really get collectibles. The original Assassin's Creed game, particularly, as far as those feathers and such, I'll pick them up if they're next to me, but I'm not gonna go for 100% on the screen. I'll just continue that way. There are certain DLCs on, I think, the second game that I've never even played, which will be interesting. Let's see. Done. I think I'm gonna lose here. Then I'm not sure there's really other games that need to be covered. The Ghostbusters game, I already had that. We're gonna think about a Oktoberfest. But Halloween month, which is slightly different than saying Oktoberfest, because Oktoberfest is more about drinking beer than anything else. Yeah. But I'm gonna try to schedule that. That's in October, so that's month 10. Right now I'm dealing with month 2. And I have major releases happening, it seems like, at least every 2 months, if not every month, as far as games that I want to cover. I got a bunch of like 99-cent games that I want to look at. There's one game right now that's free that I want to spotlight just because it's kind of new, but I'm not sure if we're really going to get to that point. Because right now everything else is so much just higher priority than covering a non-Steam game that is free. It seems also for covering free games as a critic, it's kind of silly.
Traveler. I greet you.
if I
Why do you fall?
really, if people want to play a free game, there's no barrier to entry to playing a free game. Unless it was a free game that required a more
I smell
powerful PC for people to play it, and if that's the case, then there's something wrong with the PC already. I've never seen somebody go, oh, here's a free game, but you need to go buy an increase of, let's see. This is weird. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And that gets rid of that. And then I guess I'll do this.
as you command.
So, yeah, free games not really on the table right now. The smaller games not really on the table. I want to get back to covering them. A small game that's only 5 hours or less is a week's worth of coverage. It would help a little bit to have a time slot where those really happen. Right now, a lot of the independent games that I've been trying to play, or games that feel like they're independent, still end up being 10-hour experiences or more. I would like to see that number go down a little bit. I got Honey Pop. I don't know what I'll do with that. I gotta figure out a video editing software that will work, or I'm gonna end up having to cut that in weird ways through YouTube's own thing.
I wonder.
Unless there's some mod out there that I know of that would do that.
Job's done.
By default, or there's some option in there. Yeah, that whole series, because Honey Pop is known to have sex scenes in it, that absolutely, although I'm not sure it's absolutely, but I'm pretty sure you will get your channel banned. Yeah. So there's some editing that would definitely have to get in there. Much like how YouTube has said that they're gonna start protecting a small number of people for copyright. If they turned around and said they were gonna start, darn it! Well, I have lost. They were gonna turn around and start not having a problem with animated nudity, at least. If they said that clearly and concisely, then that would be great. As long as it's fine by me, as long as I can just check a box and say this is mature content, and that still gets ad revenue. The problem, which is understandable, is YouTube doesn't want its service to become a service that's just full of porn, homemade porn probably, that's getting ad revenue. Which, I don't know, maybe there needs to be some division there, and there might be some way. Much like there's YouTube Kids, and now there's YouTube Red. Maybe they will sue RedTube and actually try and get that name back. Name away from RedTube, and then they'll own that service themselves. That would be interesting, to say the least. But right now, if you click anything and say it's mature, then there's no ad revenue, so what are you doing? And frankly, even if you click something and say it's mature, I still don't think that is within the guidelines of the YouTube.
Why do
I
you
think
call?
that's not what mature means to them. Well, let's do this. So yeah, Honey Pop is probably not going to get covered for a while. That's going to be probably a side project of just video editing. Between me, YouTube's rules of editing, which I guess I really wouldn't want to change the rules too much, because I mean, I'm on board. I don't want it filled with obscene material. YouTube full.
I hope you like
But-
my invention.
I'd make a few tweaks there, but between that and Content ID things and their new music removal services, it's getting a little testy to me about how some videos I'm making are just getting butchered, and it does not feel fair. Which, anytime you start saying the word fair, you've left reality and you are arguing for something that will never happen. But I'll say it, it does not feel fair that a lot of my videos end up with music taken out. The Tales from the Borderlands is a good example where it comes down to either you take it out or you fight them in court. And I don't have time or money to be fighting people in court. I would love to be making millions of dollars and have a lawyer on hand, but I'm sure even the lawyers would say don't bother trying to fight them in court. They'll win. So yes, audio's getting taken out, and particularly for the Lego Star Wars game, that's gonna be pretty bad. It seems like it only is 30-second snippets that it finds, but it's finding a lot. So there's just gonna be weirdness of the audio getting removed, and it's pretty weird. But then again, it's also kind of funny because then they quote unquote take it out, but then it still kind of is still there. Like the Game of Thrones series, when the music got taken out of that, you can still sit there and hear it in your head, and you get a note every now and then to keep you on beat. It's silly. Now I have defeated a lot of Content ID claims by having written permission. Unfortunately, Traveler's Tales Games, or the subdivision of TT Games that makes the Lego series, has no permission like that written anywhere, and I could contact them. If I had somebody working for me, I could send them and ask them for written permission and all of that, and we could see if that went anywhere. But I don't have time to do that now. And it's when something is fair use, you shouldn't have to go and ask for permission anyways. But a lot of companies for video game reviews have already posted it, and it is always appreciated when that's the case, because if you say you have written permission, they can't or won't deny you as much But if you just say this is fair use, they will deny you almost certainly, immediately, even if, regardless of any circumstances or anything, they'll just say, nope, we'll just deny it. And as far as the Content ID system and how YouTube arbitrates that,
That was a mistake.
they need to turn around and go, are these people just waiting 30 days and denying it always? Are these people denying it as fair use claims without looking at the video? Are they denying it immediately without looking at the video? Or they look at the video for 1 second and in the wrong place and then deny it? Let's see. I think we have to do this.
Job's done.
And some of the biggest people, some of the big corporations are probably the worst offenders of stuff like that. Where they will just deny it no matter what. And those are probably the best cases of people that need to get kicked out of the Content ID system. Just, you're no longer allowed to use this service because you've proven that you do not follow the rules, you do not seriously or in good faith investigate disputes and such. So you big name company, you Sony, you Vimeo. Well, I've never had a problem with Vimeo because Vimeo posts just music videos, and since I don't do music videos, I've never known Vimeo people have claimed it. I get SME, which is Sony Music Entertainment. I get ad rev for third party, which is a BS name, which makes me assume that it's a BS company and they don't have the rights to anything they're claiming. And then that's kind of it as far as big name people. You'll get a bunch of random people sometimes, but I know Gone Home in particular, I got a bunch of random people because I believe it was a band, a small indie band, just protecting their own music. And because in Gone Home they do play this like punk rock music that I think is all from one band, and that was fine though, because I just wrote them back and they did the right thing. They looked at the video, they saw it was that video game that they gave their license to the video game people, and that because I was using it as a review of that game,
get behind me.
It was fine. So they agreed and dropped the Content ID, which is exactly what should happen. I mean, it doesn't, for instance, in the Star Wars thing, it doesn't take anybody 5 seconds to see that this is the Lego Star Wars game. They should know it's that and go, okay, well, obviously this game we licensed the music out to this, therefore, since he is covering the game that we licensed the music to, obviously the music is going to be in it. Well, I don't think I'm gonna win unless I can get one more card that will do some damage to the face. Or unless he draws a card.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Nope, gonna lose. So I've been going 40 minutes. I think this would be as good of a this recording. Let's see, how much progress did we make? Well, we got 1 hunter victory and 1 warlock victory. That's a start. Anyways, so I don't know. We need to go at least 3 episodes. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to talk about in 3 episodes though. Ooh, that is kind of the problem, isn't it? And I probably need to go 4 episodes. So I'll end it here. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it and make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.